Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And this, I'll be honest, I don't know what to make of this. So I pulled the actual plastic wrap off. I don't know if this is the original or not. It's been stickered, and this right here had a white dot on it. And I thought maybe it was a no-go, so I took it off and tried to tear it. It's very clearly not a no-go. So I have some reservations about this, actually. Whether it is, I might not be doing this, actually. So food safety, I think, is something that really, in my view, is coming more to the fore now than ever, which shouldn't be the case, actually. But we have a lot of really questionable stuff floating around out there. And this might be one of those things. So let's get into the packaging anyway. So we have this sort of coffin shape. We have a skull. Sure, that's fine. So with the Packy One Chip Challenge, with the viral, I guess you would say, sort of success of that, it had a huge company behind it, marketing and everything. And even though, like, they were sort of skirting the edges, right, of the idea that all press is good press. Well, somebody died after eating one of their chips. Now, it wasn't, in my view, the chip that was the cause of that. It was a pre-existing medical condition that was exacerbated by what I'm guessing was probably a panic attack after eating the chip. And then, you know, the question becomes, okay, so would that have happened without the chip? And I mean, who can say, right? I mean, if it's an adrenaline bump that is sort of causing the issue, that there's many sources for an adrenaline bump, right? That's not necessarily the chip, but the chip was the thing. In this case, it sort of instigated that, but there was an underlying health thing as well. A very young person, and that who should not have been having that. You know, they basically took it upon themselves to have a product that was not a good idea for somebody in their condition. So anyway, with the success of Packy, we had a whole bunch of external companies rushing in as Me Too's. We had this, we have the Jola chip. The Jola chip I might be doing if I can find it at somewhat of a reasonable price. And there are chapters in this video, as with a lot, probably the majority of videos that I do in this series. So you can skip ahead if you don't want to hear me pontificate at this point about these sort of challenges and stuff, because I'm going to do exactly that right now. So we had that. We had the Don't Scream Chip Challenge. Most of those are absurdly expensive. Like the last Packy One Chip Challenge, for instance, I've seen it online for 35 bucks, and I don't get upset at that. I just say, okay, well, I figured that as they're now at a point where they're going to be expired, right? They're probably going to be expired food product. I would expect that price point to come down somewhat. It's not, there's no historical relevance to it at all. And when I see it for like 35 or whatever online, I'm like, okay, well, it's fine. Obviously that person wants that item much more than I do, because my sort of critical point with all of these types of things is about 10 bucks. If it's past 10 bucks for a single chip, whether or not I can get content out of it or not, to me, it just is not worthwhile. So anyway, we had this one. We had the Don't Scream. We have one called the Red Reaper, I believe, is out there as well. The Jola chip I've already mentioned. And this is the only one that I saw go under $10 for Black Friday, so I picked one up. This is the Don't Scream chip. Extremely dangerous in this sort of really whimsical font. Like, yep, this just screams danger. This is from Hyderabad, and Hyderabad is, sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's Hyderabad. This is in India. I'd say somewhere in India. I don't know if it's its own city or what it is exactly. This one's saying 14 plus. I believe the person who died was 14. We don't have a manufacture date on this, which I think is kind of interesting. And so I don't know if this is a knockoff, if it actually is from this. I see a lot of stuff that gets stolen. And a lot of times when they steal graphics and stuff, things like this will get left off. So there's two things right now that are giving me pause. First, that dot and this really not great shrink. And the second is no manufacture date. So like I said, I may not be doing this, but we're going to continue looking through the box here. So this is a warning. Eat at your own risk. Not for the faint heart. Not everyone will enjoy the extreme heat. Realistically, I probably will not enjoy this chip because most of the time these taste like garbage. Nothing on the sides of the box. Okay, do not eat for your sense. Okay, this is the usual stuff. Obviously, do not touch your eyes afterwards. We have gloves for specifically that reason. After this, hell should be easy. Again, in the whimsical font. That's nice. That's cute. Keep out of reach children. Yes, definitely. Why would any food product... You know, the concept of hell... Oh, you know, I'm not going to sidetrack. The concept of hell, though, has deviated extremely wildly from what it used to be in the predecessor to the quote-unquote Christian mythology. From, you know, the Nordic mythology and the Greek and Roman mythologies treated it completely different than did the Christian mythology. And unfortunately, a lot of the ideas in our modern day are, well, I mean, it is the most recent one. So I guess it makes a degree of sense. But anyway, so we have corn, canola oil, Carolina, the Mighty Reaper. This is all powder. It's not the pepper, I'm sure. But we got the Mighty Reaper, we got Trinidad Scorpions, Butch Tea, Ghost Pepper, Buddha Lokia. I think those three are actually all this. I don't know what just Butch Tea by itself is supposed to mean. But Ghost Pepper and Buddha Lokia are the same thing. So is Butch Tea a variant to that? I think, vaguely remember that being on the last Poggy One Chip Challenge. So it could be just, again, I don't know what any of this is. Why it's listed like that. We got jalapeno seasoning, salt. So this has a chance actually of tasting not completely awful. We have calcium propionate. E2, is it E2B2 or E2H2? One of those two. And sodium propionate E282. So I guess they're both E2A2s. I assume those are preservatives of some kind. Okay. The Don't Scream Challenge does not have rules or anything. I am not having my my suspiciousness absolved at all with what I'm finding in this box. I'm just going to be honest. Rather the opposite, I would say. Okay, all right. So yes, this looks like the other the Packies. Why are there holes like that in it? It's like they got stabbed with a fork or something. What is this? This is notably thicker than I think the other ones have been, though. Okay, so we're not going to indulge in this just yet. Let's see if we can find any rules for this first. Got our handy dandy Kindle here, and let's take a look. Okay, so I just, hey, look, there's the light. Hey, so I just looked through a few pages online, and I could not find any rules for this. So I guess I'm just going to infer a couple here. I guess we eat the chip, and then we don't scream. Man, I don't know. I really don't like. So I don't like this. I am. Why is this there? Like what? Maybe I'll just try a small amount of it, and if it's, I mean, it looks like a fork, except for a fork doesn't do this arcing thing. Like a fork's a straight line, for the most part. I don't know what else it would be though. Well, all right. I mean, look, I'm not worried about the heat particularly. I've done the last, well, prior to 2023, I did 2021, 2020, no, sorry, I did 2020, 2021, 2022 of the one chip challenge. And 2021 was, for me, the hottest of those. 2022 is the color changing one. That's all in the challenges playlist where this, assuming I just don't bin the footage, is going to live. I can't decide if this is a good idea or not. Let me just break a little piece off. I just broke a corner off. Can you see that? You can see where it's broken. Oh my God, it is awful. The texture is not like corn, it's like flour. Oh, this is horrible. It's like a cracker almost. Its flavor is foul. The texture kind of reminds me of a kind of a thicker communion wafer, if you're familiar with those. If not, it's a Catholic thing. I'm not now. I was at one time when I was younger. A part, I suppose you would say, of the church. This is now. If they had this kind of coating on communion wafers, that would be interesting. Maybe smoking that will do that. God, could you imagine? If we ever have a real life temple of flame, that's what we will have. We will have, except we'll actually have spicy ones. This is honestly just disgusting. It's not particularly hot. I will give it, I don't know what this is supposed to be doing here. This is, all right. No, so I paid $9 for this. This is not a $9 anything. It is nastier, I would say, than the one chip challenge, though in a different way. Those at least are obviously tortilla chips. This, I don't know what this is supposed to be. It is so weird. We'll give it a little bit of time here, because I'm gonna sit and whine about it some more. So yeah, I will give it a legit 1. A 1. 1. Which means, yes, I have had hotter snacks outside of this that were non-challenge products. So as far as the challenge goes, this is an exceedingly weak one. If you want to me, I would say, like, if you just want an easy challenge to do, you could do this. It's not worth the money, but you could definitely do this. Chili heads are not going to be challenged by this at all. Non-chili heads, probably more by the flavor. I mean, the chip you saw was not coated especially well. I am getting a little bit of a heat pickup, but not... Usually I don't do challenges. I don't do back-to-back challenges. I try not to do challenges on the same day. In this case, I think I might actually with this one. You know, the part of what my methodology as far as approach to this goes, there's a lot of people that will talk about prep. I have my own prep. One guy, I don't remember who he was. I think it was a pineapple guy, maybe. He likes to eat mashed potatoes before he does his hot sort of challenges, which is, I mean, it's fine. A lot of other people will just have anything. As long as they have some food, they'll consider that good. I have a very regimented, all the way down to timing before I attempt most of the challenges you see in the playlist. Sometimes I don't, and I'll go into a challenge without doing my proper prep. And it just depends on what your tolerance is. If your tolerance is high enough, it matters a lot less. Mine is still kind of in a building phase, I would say. But I did do my prep for this one, and so just sitting here chatting and all this kind of stuff. We're getting a lot of taper now, so this was arguably one of the easier challenges I think I've done. I'm not even sure I would call it a challenge. Honestly, I think the Pocky Ghost chips are probably hotter than this. So yeah, I guess we'll put that one in the books. Even at $9, I think I got kind of taken for a ride there. But what is this? It's FSSAI or Fasal. I don't know the name of the company that actually makes this. It looks like Nova Web Innovations, I guess, or something. I don't know. More to the point, I like the flavor in my mouth is very disgusting. This is not a good flavor to anything. And I think, honestly, kind of like the Pocky One Chip Challenge, the actual flavor is the worst part by quite a bit. Certainly that is the case now. So, yeah. We're going to call that good. That was the Don't Scream Chip Challenge. Again, I couldn't find any rules, so I just consumed it and didn't scream. So, not really a point in dragging this on anymore, I don't think, and we'll just call it right there. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.